Greetings, geeks. Going live a little early. Taylor should be here in a little while. But, man, I'm just reading the news and things are going so well on a scotch filled Monday night. I got a bunch of action figures on pre order. I have like 2 dioramas on pre order, that are just going to set my shit off. I just need a good camera. But, I mean, Quan has an Oscar nomination for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Harrison Ford is talking about it, bragging on his boy. It's just the perfect intersection of nostalgia and fun, you know. Um, Surgeon General chiming in on the age that is appropriate for social media. Like, children don't have parents who can't keep them off social media. I don't know. I really think I could just read all of my news feeds all day and make money off of streaming. But Fox Entertainment and Hulu ink a new deal. Are you kidding me? Michael Mouse is in control of your parent company. Literally, Hulu is owned by Disney and Fox is owned by Disney. How is that news? How is that news that Hulu is going to continue to carry Fox stuff? It's so dumb. It's just so dumb. I don't know. I don't know. Been a great day though. Had a really fun Monday. We're going to talk about all of the new comics coming out later on this week. It's a mediocre week. I'm going to be honest. It's a lackluster sort of week, but there's some big name books coming out, especially over at DC. DC is bringing out all of the love. Hey, Andy. Andy chiming in. I did, and just so you know, Andy in the chat is the guy over at the Facebook group, the Outright Geekery Facebook group, which is so much damn fun. But I have updated a whole bunch of links on the outrightgeekery.com website, which isn't really a website. It's more of just a landing page, so whatever. But go over there, outrightgeekery.com. There is a new link to the group along with the page, with the regular standard page link that we have up there. So go over there, check that out, join that group, have a shit ton of fun with Andy, talking about just all kinds of pop culture and great fun. Again, I'm not sure where Curtis is tonight. I'm sure he's going to be here one way or another. We're going to do the show. But, oh, wait. Oh, there he is. There he is. Taylor, we are live, just FYI. I've just been reading off my news feed. It's just been such a great day for news. Hua Khan has an Oscar nomination. The Eagles are in the Super Bowl. The action figures are on their way. The dioramas are on their way.
I'm glad you're having such a good day going.
A fantastic Monday. It's not even that it's a good day. It's like, oh, it's Monday.
I can't feel good for like the fans of the Philadelphia Eagles as a group because they are a vile, despicable group of people. But I do feel glad for you, like my personal connection with you.
We have fun.
Yeah,
we're very exuberant.
That's a very charitable way of putting it. Hey, Andy, how's it going?
We have fun. Yeah. Andy's been hanging out. I updated some links on the Outright Geekery landing page. Things are going great. We got Andrew. Love this place. Cannot get enough of your content. Oh, Andrew. Wow. Thank you so much, dude. That's awesome.
That's really kind of him to say.
While me and Taylor are doing what, like 2 hours a week of content? You know what I mean? Just doing this show. Yeah, we are at the very bottom of that.
We are not doing the heavy lifting here.
Yeah, we are not doing the heavy lifting. That's Henry 1, Henry 2, Andy, all those guys getting it done. And yeah, thanks so much for all your helps. And thank you, Andrew, for hanging out. We appreciate it. Yeah, it's 7. We're doing the show. We're talking about all the new comics coming out this week. Let's just lean into it, bro. Let's do it. This is another show that. Oh.
Sheer fucking hubris.
Picard season 3 looks like it's going to be the best thing ever.
I mean, it is basically just Star Trek: The Next Generation. You know, the later years.
Nostalgia circle jerk.
Yeah.
Dude,
hey, I'm not saying that.
So much,
Not a knock, you know.
Greetings, geeks. Welcome back. It's another episode of this Geeky Comics Outright Geekery's comic book shit talk show.
Shit talk show.
Andy chiming in. Just a goof and kick-ass hats. Yeah, right. I know. It's the Gomer and Taylor hour. We're doing just the previews this week, or just tonight, I guess. It's an okay week. Taylor, how did your night go? I haven't talked to you in like 23 hours. How did it go?
Oh, it's been all right. They're telling us to be ready to switch over to virtual tomorrow in case we get this big snowstorm coming in, which for Tennessee standards is like maybe a half inch of snow, and we're going to shut everything down.
It's supposed to be less than a quarter inch of ice, and they are trying to shut shit down.
Well, I guess they got snow days to cash in. Might as well use them.
Yeah, it's all the same for me. I work from home. Since we've last met, I watched The Last of Us episode 3. And I cried like it was a Pixar movie, dude. Oh my God.
I haven't gotten around to that yet. So
Nick Offerman, if he doesn't get an Emmy nomination for this episode, it's a travesty. Holy shit. It was so good. But again, we digress. We're talking about comics. Let's talk about, is it going to do it? Oh, I'm not even sharing the show or sharing my screen. Hold on. Damn it. You knew something was going to fail.
I mean,
there it is.
Like clockwork, right? Someone like gives us like flattering praise, and then you just fuck up immediately.
Yeah, I know. Thanks, Andrew. Welcome to the shit show. Just like Andy said. Welcome to the shit show. On this show, we'll talk about all the new comic books coming out this week. It's kind of a mediocre week, but there are some really good gems in this.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a treasure in the trash, usually, you know, at least some every week.
We started Image. If you see something, say something, chat. If you guys want us to talk about some books that are coming out, definitely let us know. Andy's showing out in there. Man, funny you mentioned DC stuff, man. I've been watching a ton of stuff with my son lately. He's mentioning to my wife the other day that DC is awful at making future films, but smacks when it comes to making cartoons. Wow. Your son is just a typical geek, dude. Your son is
entirely correct. I mean, DC's animated movies are significantly better than the competitions. And
yes.
Live action, it is kind of the inverse there, where like Marvel has been dominating that sphere for like 15 years at this point.
Oh, it doesn't seem that long, but you're absolutely right. The DC animated stuff is, I mean, top notch. It's the best
what
of
is
the bunch.
Shockingly good? The Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
Dude, it's wonderful.
It is one of the
Phantasm.
Mask of the Phantasm.
The Joker in Batman Beyond gets me every time.
Yeah, those are like, if you don't know about those, then you're watching the wrong show. I'm just saying, like the Batman from the recent things, though. That's like that's like the perfect fan service movie.
It really is.
You get like the Batmobile going side by side with like the battle shell. You get like they fight each other, but then they team up and have pizza in the Batcave. It's everything you could possibly want. You get like mutagen versions of Batman's rogues gallery.
Yeah, it's wild, dude. It's so good. All right, moving on. Comics coming out this week. All the new stuff dropping. Again, it's a mixed bag. Starting off in Image Comics. If you see something, say something. The Almighty #1. This is a creator-owned push. Edward LaRoche doing the writing and the art on this. We don't really know much about this. Third World America, a post-apocalyptic 2098 sort of thing. We'll see how it goes. I'm definitely going to read this, but we don't really get a lot from this solicit. We get it that it's an Edward LaRoche book. That's it. That's enough. That's really enough, for me to jump in and take a look. So We'll talk about that on the Monday show, I'm sure. Blood Tree is also worth mentioning because Peter J. Tomasi moving into more of a creator-owned sort of landscape here with Image Comics. I'm excited for him to be moving on into that. Um, it seems like your basic police procedural, but there's like an angel killer, a sociopath who preys on the innocent family members of known murderers in order to purify society. Really high level sort of premise there. I'm not sure I'm all on board, but it's hard to deny. Peter J. Tomasi is a great writer, and yeah, we'll definitely see how that goes. Not really a whole bunch else from Image Comics this week. Like we said at the top of the show, it's a midweek. 8 Billion Genies getting a shit ton of reprintings. Every issue getting another.
Well, here's your opportunity to catch up, I guess.
Yeah. If you're not reading 8 Billion Genies, catch up. It's a great post-apocalyptic story with this weird twist. It's already been picked up for an adaptation on Amazon, I think. But yeah, don't miss out on that if you can. Even on the spec market, these late printing variants often, pick up on the spec market. So look at that variant cover. I mean, these are just epic. All the genies. I mean, if you're reading the story, you understand the variant covers. But yeah, great book. Flawed hits its penultimate issue. Nita Hall's Nightmare blog continues. That's the end of the story arc. Radiant Black continues the whole Massiverse thing going on, which has gotten way bigger than I ever thought it would.
Man, this thing has really taken off. Like,
it so has, dude.
it's like we're supporting like 5 books right now, right?
It's at least 3 ongoings and like 3 or 4 minis. It's so massive. I mean, it's massive verse. I'm not caught up. Dave's caught up as far as I know. He'll talk about it on the Monday show, I'm sure, or on the Sunday show, I'm sure. But yeah, we'll just see what happens there. Rogue Sun is another Massiverse book. It's just it won't stop. Moving on, Savage Dragon. It wouldn't be a week without Eric Larson, but we also get Walking Dead, Kirkman with his redos. Again, kind of a light week at Image in terms of volume, but man, having all those 8 Billion Genies reprints are really good for the direct market. Blood Tree #1 and Almighty #1. Moving on to Boom, Approach #4 has been a really fun horror book. But again, that's really all they have going on there. Briar has been fun, the penultimate issue there for that horror series. Magic and Mighty Morphin trade and a long box to collect your Once and Future issues. Once and Future is still one of the best series that Boom has ever put out. Moving on to Dark Horse. Man, I want to show you this, dude, because this is rad. I know we don't usually talk about the toys and stuff, but dude, that is a rad piece.
I am glad you did. That is cool as hell.
Yeah, I know you're a huge fan of this series, and especially this game. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Majora's Mask too. I'm more of a Ocarina of Time fan than I am a Majora's Mask fan. But man, this is a dope piece.
You're allowed to be wrong about that, but yeah, they're both good games.
Yeah, really cool.
What's the scale on that?
Let me look. I'm not sure it's saying it's 109. I would imagine it's regular size,
Yeah.
But man,
I mean, I'm not lying. I would love to have that on my desk.
It's pricey though, dude. It's very pricey.
That is a big ask.
Do you have another edition? I think this might be. Yeah, it's a big ask. For $90, but very. But above that, not much on the comics end from Dark Horse this week. Minor Threats. Murder Inc. gets a new trade with Bendis moving his stuff. Quick Stops. We get your, Kevin stuff over there. But we will talk about Where Monsters Lie #1. Kyle Starks is doing a book over at Dark Horse where all of the monsters, like your Freddys, your Jasons, your Michael Myers, when they're not murdering people, they take a vacation. and they go to the same place, like this retreat for these slasher villains from these movies. Well, one dude who was actually had his parents murdered, by these guys, figures this shit out. So he's going to slasher vacation town to go murder all these assholes. It seems like a whole lot of fun.
That is a very fun premise, yes.
It is it's a really fun premise. I'm hoping that Kyle Starks can pull it off. He's done a lot of good stuff in the past. So, yeah, this is really high on my radar this week.
Now, I'm assuming it's like Jason, but not Jason, and like, Pennywise, but not Pennywise.
Yeah, Freddy, but not quite Freddy. He's got a foot. He's got a boot with knives on it instead of a glove. Something stupid like that. But yeah, seems really, really fucking cool premise. I'm definitely picking that up. Young Hellboy finishes off that 4 issue run. I know Dave's been reading that and enjoying it. Moving on to IDW, Breath of Shadows. This is a weird sort of book. It's Rich Duick and Alex Cormack. They have teamed up on a lot of books before, but it's the mid-'60s. It's a band. The lead singer is all strung out on drugs. He tries to get off the drugs by going to, like, this weird, like a commune where he can get off of that sort of thing. But when he goes to do it, the way they get him off the drugs seems to have this weird demonic sort of angle to it. Like, sure, you can get off the drugs, but you're going to sell your soul, and then your nightmares are going to go fucking crazy. So we'll see how that goes. It looks like a really fun sort of.
So I guess the moral of our story is never stop using drugs.
Never stop using drugs. Yes, I mean maybe we'll see how it ends.
But no, that does sound like a pretty interesting premise.
Yeah, it's highbrow, and that's really the theme of this week. All of these weird independent books doing creator-owned ideas that are coming off of the back of. I don't know. Are they taking mescaline? Are all of our comic book writers just on mescaline? Anyway, finishing up at IDW, My Little Pony and Star Trek #4, $5 they're asking for that book. IDW knows what they got. They know they're selling Star Trek books. And yeah, Star Trek comics have not been as good now as they've ever been. Ever.
Yeah, they're having quite the run here. You don't usually bat an eye when like a Marvel or a DC book goes up to $5, but these indies usually don't go that far. So yeah, that is a pretty big statement on that part.
Yeah, 100%. Great covers on there. So yeah, that's it for most of the independent stuff. Moving on to DC. Batman Legends of Gotham #1. This is a one-shot anthology sort of book over at DC. This is really weird. It's pulling in stories from everything that's basically going on right now at DC Comics. We got Lazarus Planet. We got Dawn of DC. We got Wonder Woman doing some things. We have I Am Batman with the Batman of New York doing some things. So, a pretty good book that has potential to lean into what's going on with everything else at DC Comics.
I mean, it sounds like
a hard pull. It's a hard pull at $6.
It is a lot for $6, but I guess this is probably their like, hey, here's your opportunity to be up to speed on everything we're about to do. So it could serve as a decent jumping on point to a lot of stuff if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on, DC Power, A Celebration #1. This is their Black History Month book. It's again another anthology book. There's going to be a lot of stories in here about a lot of different characters. The main takeaway here, in my opinion, there's going to be a Cyborg one-shot story in here that leads into the newly announced Cyborg book that will be ongoing, coming out later on. I think in March, maybe May.
Yeah,
but a good pickup there. Man, Harlequin Romances. This is their Valentine's Day book, right? Harlequin. based off of these old trashy romance novels. My mom read the fuck out of these back in the day. Love this cover here. This is
I don't know if they call them that anymore, but they still sell these things. Yeah, I used to work at Barnes and Noble, and there's like whole shelves of these. But
they still sell these trashy, cheesy romance novels.
I'm honestly surprised they didn't do this already. You know, this seems like such a low hanging fruit.
It does.
I mean, Harley Quinn has never been this popular though, so I guess it seems like the time to cash in on this terrible pun idea. Which honestly,
it is. It's I will say though, pun.
They are doing a great job with this pun, though. I fucking love this, like, hunky Superman with his farm, like, romance cover here.
Yeah, dude, I love this cover so much. I love it. Again, big ask. It's $10. Okay, Oof. It's a big ask, Oof. Dude. Yeah, that's a big ask. But if you're a DC fan, it is a very light DC week.
I honestly want to see more of these covers, though, if we have a chance.
Well, there are a couple. Let me see if we can
see. Pull them up. Okay, so like Aquaman, like in the waves. That's a good one. Here.
Yeah, that's okay. That one's a little.
That doesn't beat the Superman
it's
one,
funny.
but
it's leaning into the humor. Yeah, very nice, very nice. Very fun they're doing that. But again, that's going to be another anthology book, a bunch of one-shot romance stories for Valentine's Day. Moving on, the Flash 1 Minute War one-shot. This has been going on through the Flash book. It's been fantastic. It's been so much fun. I love this fucking cover here with
that's a great cover.
Wally, Barry, and I mean, I don't even know who that other one is.
Bart.
There's so many fucking Flashes. It's so hard to keep track.
I think he's going by Impulse nowadays. That's Bart Allen, yes. Barry's grandson from the future. But Barry's grandson from the future is a 90s ass concept. And this has been a very 90s ass story. But I mean that as a compliment. This has been like a really fun type of thing you would have read like during like the Jeff Johns, Wally West run, you know?
Yes. Yeah, dude. I mean, Flash is very underrated at DC right now, but he has not been this good in so long. Yeah, it's wild. It's really fun. Couple of covers to that. The last book, honestly, that's 5 books, but they're all way over, typical cover price, is a Lazarus Planet tie-in, Legends Reborn. This has been hit or miss for me. Most of these Lazarus Planet one-shots, right, are anthology books where there's a different writer and a different artist doing 3 or 4 different stories, and a lot of them have been hit or miss. I'm still reading them all. I'm still picking them all up, but we do have Alex Segura, Greg fucking Pak doing a book. Nice. Clayton Henry doing art. So yeah. I'm really anxious for that to actually be over because I really think Mark Waid has a good plan for the book ending issue that he's just going to write himself. Because up to that point, it was a really fun sort of thing. Leaning out of Batman versus Robin, and then the one shot that he did where everything was going crazy. These other one shots with the anthology stuff going on just have not been up to par compared to those other issues. But I'm excited for the end of the thing. So,
I hope
and DC has a lot going on. DC got a lot going on.
They're throwing a lot. I mean, anthologies by their very nature, right? There's got to be some good ones in there. Yeah. But yeah, it's a big ask though for $6.
Yeah, no shit. I mean, it looks like we're getting some Nuclear Men back, which is always fun. But all right, moving on. House of Ideas, Avengers 65. I know this is a big one on Taylor's radar. We're finally going to figure out what's his name? Avenger Alpha, Avenger
Prime. They did show us who it is. Something. I mean, they'll get into like how like the hows and whys and everything, but they did already tell us who this is. This was from. Well, do you know?
Yeah, I know. Go ahead. Spoil it as much as you want. Are you there? Oh, Taylor might have dropped off. Oh no. Oh no. Well, we'll look at this preview. Very good book. Very good looking. Uh, I have such this like duality in my brain about Jason Aaron's Avengers run. It's been so much fun, but it's been just such big, dumb, stupid fun over and over again. He's visited and revisited different angles. None of it has seemed very cohesive, but it's still pretty damn good. You know, I mean, it's Jason Aaron. He knows how to write a damn comic book. You know. Moving on from there, we do have a debut, Bloodline, Daughter of Blade. I don't know if we need this. It looks okay. Danny Lore is a hell of a writer. Karen Darbo does the art pretty okay here. Not really my take on this early preview. You know, not my cup of tea. The coloring bothers me more than anything, but yeah, I'm just not sure I'm into a Bloodline Daughter of Blade. Are they going to introduce her into the MCU? Is that what they're leaning for here? I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure. Any comment on Bloodline, Taylor? Oh, I don't think he's back yet. He tried to be back, but now he's not. Moving on from there, Sentinel of Liberty is setting up the Cold War still, which is really cool. We have the new invaders that was set up in the last issue of this story. That, man, that should be really, really fucking fun. Honestly,
this is probably 20.
Oh,
hey.
There you are. Hey,
was I gone? Or were you
gone? Do what?
Was I gone or were you gone?
No, you were gone. You ended up gone. I think I was okay. So yeah, Avenger 65, Avenger Prime. Go ahead, spoiler.
Oh, sure, yeah, it's Loki. It's some Loki from some other universe somewhere.
Loki.
And honestly, yeah, it's thematically appropriate. They even made the point, right? Like, no one else can bring the Avengers together but Loki. You know,
he's the first one who did it. Yeah, for sure.
Oh, it was me that was
Andy
gone.
chiming
okay.
in. No, Taylor was gone. Yeah, good. At least we weren't off.
I was trying to vamp because I thought that you were the one who was gone, so I'm glad that it was in fact me that was gone.
Right. Man. Moving on from Avengers, Bloodline, Daughter of Blade. I'm not sure we need this unless Bloodline is going to be introduced in the Blade movie.
I have a hard time imagining that, at least not until like a sequel, right? The first Blade movie, you just do Blade, right? You don't need to bring in all these like ancillary characters.
I mean, maybe a post-credit scene where he's had a daughter, but even
I suppose we'll see.
It seems a little early for that.
It is, especially because that Blade movie's not even coming out until I don't think even next year, is it?
Yeah, they don't even have a script yet. They went back to rewriting the script because what's his name? Man, I have such a hard time pronouncing that gentleman's name, but he didn't like the script.
Mahershala Ali.
Yeah. But they are really leaning into this Bloodline book.
I don't know if I'm a big enough Blade fan to read about like the Blade expanded universe here, but this could be a lot of fun though. I mean, Blade is a character that could use more of a supporting cast, and hey, this could be an opportunity for them to build one.
Yeah, 100%. I love Blade as a character. He's fantastic. What a cool vampire hunter. Are you fucking killing me? That's awesome. But yeah, Blade's daughter, I'm not sure I care. Anyway, moving on. Captain America, Sentinel of Liberty, the new invaders strike. This was a fantastic lead-in. Okay?
Yes.
The new invaders are fucking awesome. They're great.
I am hyped as hell for this book, I gotta say.
Yes, me too, dude. Me too. Shit. Kelly and Lansing are just killing it on this book. That is not to take anything away from the other Captain America book, but man, this book is great. It's good.
I really love the writing, and even if you didn't, like the stuff they're doing with like the big like spread pages in this book are worth picking it up just for that alone, you know? Like the last issue with MODOK's like psychic attack, that way they illustrated that. That was brilliant.
So well done. So well done, dude. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Best Cap run with Steve Rogers since the Breaker run.
That is a bold thing to say, but
only
I mean
9 issues in. Yeah.
I definitely would consider it.
Been?
Yeah.
What else has there been? The Remender
I can't
run
really
was
dispute
weird.
that. I mean, yeah, the Remender run was kind of like love it or hate it. The Nick Spencer run, the less said about it, the better. The Ta-Nehisi Coates run had some good ideas, but
yeah, he just couldn't.
This
Ta-Nehisi Coates is not a comic book writer. I'm sorry,
yeah.
he's just not. He's just not.
But this has been an outstanding run. I am loving the hell out of this.
Yeah,
these guys got their start with that Captain America Corps, or the cap. What was it called? Captain America's, the United States of Captain America.
Yeah, the United States of Captain America. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Very well done. Very well done. The Miller Jansen omnibus of Daredevil. Hard to not mention this.
I mean, if you don't have it, you should get it. You know.
Yeah, it's one of the best runs of Daredevil ever, and that's really saying a lot because there are so many good runs of Daredevil.
Oh yeah, Daredevil is like the prestige book. Like, great writers go on Daredevil and take their crack at the character.
Yeah. Something not worth mentioning, Dark Web Finale. Thank goodness it's ending. I've had such a terrible time with this book. All of the time.
Yeah, fucking clones, man.
It sucks. Clones are terrible. Stop with the fucking clones. Moving on. It does get a Momoko variant, though. That is one of my favorite Spider-Man Momoko variants. Look at that. Oh, that's gorgeous.
I would definitely get that as a poster, but yeah, that's not a comic I'm interested in.
Yeah, that's not a comic I'm interested in. Speaking of Peach Momoko, we do get a Demon Wars Down in Flames. Peach Momoko just continuing her work, doing this Demon Wars thing. Man, this is going to be an omnibus by the time her ass is done with this. It's been so much fun so far.
Every one of them has like a different name, though. Like, you probably need to get the omnibus in order to keep everything straight after a while.
Right? She touches on all of these unique angles, these very popular angles of the Marvel Comics universe, but then uses this like Japanese religious dogma in it, like these little stories.
Yeah, like reimagining all these characters as like Oni or Yokoi, they're all just it's really brilliant stuff. And of course, Peach Momoko's artwork is unimpeachable. So
yeah, it's really cool that Marvel has let her do this. I have to say that CB Cebulski, the new EIC, I say new, he's been there for like 3 or 4 years, but him being such a big fan of Japanese culture and Japanese, writing and stuff like that has really helped Peach Momoko excel at Marvel Comics, and good for both of them, because we get to enjoy that, So, yeah, bravo for everything going on there with that shit. Moving on, Fantastic Four by Slott Volume 3. You know me, I wasn't a fan of the Slott run of FF. I know you loved it, but again, this should be an omnibus. This should be a $120 omnibus with all of those collected in one big book, because it was worth it. He did some cool things with the first family of comics, and yeah, it shouldn't be denied. Legion of X number 10. We'll talk more about Legion of X, I think, next week on the Sunday night show with some news.
Yeah, they announced like basically like a sequel story to this, but I mean, this has been this isn't to say that it's like a bad book, but it is pretty mediocre, and it does make it one of the it's one of the lower tier X-Men books right now.
I don't think Hickman would have ever approved this book because it's way too highbrow. I think Hickman himself would have liked it, but he's like, no, this isn't accessible enough, and that's the problem.
Yeah, I mean,
not accessible enough.
I'm pretty steeped in all the Krakoan going on, but this one still like kind of disappears up its own ass quite a lot.
It does. That's the problem with Cy Spurrier in a lot of ways. He disappears up his own ass, and this is definitely an example of that. Moving on, Miles Morales number 3. Finally, we get to meet Rabble. First full appearance was last issue. No, pardon me. First appearance,
like in costume appearance.
Yes, was last issue. This is her first appearance. This should be a big deal. Miles Morales is the future of Spider-Man in all aspects. Okay, not just in the comics. This is the best the best Spider-Man book we got going on. Fuck Peter Parker. But in the movies,
I wouldn't say fuck Peter Parker, but undeniably, this is the Spider-Man comic that is worth reading right now. Peter's comic is trash. Good. Amazing Spider-Man is just a bad book,
It is. It is, dude. Um, I want to talk about a couple of variants for this issue. Great Ken Lashley variant here. I love this so much. It's just simple in its presentation, and yeah, it just speaks to me. But the incomparable Ryan Stegman doing the inexplicable, making a Planet of the Apes tie-in variant look like the best damn cover of the week. Look at that.
Honestly,
It's
if it
so
didn't have the
good.
Planet of the Apes stamp on it, I would have just thought this is like, a cool, like, Miles is randomly fighting some gorilla monster,
Yeah, right, dude, right? Yeah, but
That's
oh
cool
man,
as hell, though. Yeah.
yeah, this is so good. Incomparable Ryan Stegman. Keeping the KLC newsletter going while we have no idea what's going on with Donny Cates. Anyway, Moon Knight continues with a bunch of variants. Scarlet Witch #2 continues that Steve Orlando story. Not a bad start.
It was a decent
To
opening
this.
issue.
Yeah.
I like the premise a lot. It's a good setup for the character, and I also love bringing in Viv Vision here. She's a cool character from Tom King's run on the Vision book, but
it missed
I don't know
something.
if the dialogue's a little off for me. It
It
feels like
it
it's
is.
kind of pointlessly grandiose at times, even when they're sitting like having a fucking like coffee across the table from
they're
each other.
having a
Yeah,
tea. It's
yeah, it's a
I don't know
little
if I get that either.
pompous seeming,
Yeah. Still worth it for that Sarah Kelly art. Chris Allen helping out with
Oh,
some of that
absolutely.
work.
This is going to be a great looking book, no matter what.
Yeah. And Scarlet Witch is really super hot right now. Look, Alex Mali cover, man. Alex Mali did my favorite, just my favorite Scarlet Witch story of all time, the Ballad of Wanda Maximoff and Clint Barton. I have it hanging on the fucking wall right up here. Right here. With Bendis and Molly just bringing that Scarlet Witch love. So good. I go back and read that issue like all the time. Like if I'm feeling down, I go and read that issue and it just makes me feel better. So yeah, nice to see Molly back on that character. Moving on, we do have a debut for Silver Surfer Ghostlight. Man, they keep trying to do shit with Silver Surfer. I just don't get it. They're introducing like an anti Silver Surfer here.
Is that what
In
is the
some
guy?
way?
Is that the Ghostlight? Is the character called
Yeah, the
Ghostlight?
Ghostlight. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
There's been
just
some
not sure.
great Silver Surfer stories. There's even
The
some of these
slot
like
one recently was great.
the Dan Slott run was fantastic, and even some of these little like minis that they put out where it's just like a little self-contained whatever. Some of those have been pretty good, but this is one of those like wait and see things for me when it comes to the Silver Surfer.
It really is, dude. Even though I am a huge fan of Valentin de Landro, he did one of my favorite runs of my absolute favorite run of X-Men ever, X Factor Investigations with Peter David writing. Just so well done. So I'm definitely picking that up just because he's doing the art inside. But really, that's all we have. We do get a Santa Staros #1, Justina Ireland, and they have Pedro Perez, on the art, so it's going to be good art. I have no idea who Justina Ireland is, but
I'm afraid I don't know, but
Han Solo's first wife, I guess.
Yeah, it was his old like partner in crime. They had like basically just like a like scam marriage in order to pull off a job at some point. I don't know. But other than Dr. Aphra, this is probably one of the more memorable characters that they introduced when they first got their hands on the Star Wars license.
Well, outside the murder droids, sure.
Outside the murder droids and Dr. Aphra and and Kazakhstan. Okay, so she's actually pretty far down on the list.
Yeah, she is actually pretty far down the list.
She's a memorable character, though. She had a cool introduction. She just kind of got overshadowed by a lot of the other really cool characters that they threw out there. But yeah, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, great Pikeli, Sarah Kelly variant here on this. I just love when she does simple, just the two suns and walk. Just very well done. I'm not sure even. I'm so far out of the Star Wars universe at comics.
Well, yeah, I'm definitely not going to pick this up just because I am out of that Star Wars churn, and I am daunted by the prospect of trying to get back in.
Yeah, Storm and the Brotherhood poster. So stoked for that. Venom 16, Wakanda number 5 wraps up that story. But I think the big book, and this is so weird to say, we're all the way at the bottom of the Marvel shit, and there's almost nothing from Marvel this week. Sure, Miles Morales, sure, the Demon Wars, sure. If you're into Dark Web, whatever.
There's some gems in there, but nothing that's like a big show-stopping premiere here.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But Ben Percy and Robert Gill telling us who the man with the peacock tattoo is over in X-Force might be the thing I'm most excited for this week, dude. I'm hoping this is somebody we know. I'm hoping this is, I don't know who I'm hoping it's for, but man, holy shit.
They want to string us along this for, they're saying like, right, this has been going on since 2019. They want to string us along for like 3 years, unless it was somebody we knew. So it's got to be,
Yeah. I love Beast here just throwing Deadpool around like he doesn't give a fuck.
Beast doesn't give a fuck. He's turned into like the biggest piece of shit.
He's worse than Dark Beast. He's worse than Age of Apocalypse Dark Beast ever was. Ever. Because he's living in a...
That was so funny with... That was so funny with Mr. Sinister, right? Like,
yes,
you'd be sad if I let you out. You're not even the darkest beast anymore.
Oh, man. So good. But Omega Red has had a great arc here. We still have, like, angles with Colossus dealing with his... what the hell is that dude's name in Russia? And the Omega Red angle. Rasputin or whatever that. Yeah, Mikhail. That's right, Mikhail. So, man, great things happening over at X-Force. Ben Percy, like, low-key, like, the best writer in comics right now. Arguably.
He has been
between Wolverine, X-Force, and Ghost Rider. Holy fuck. Give that dude another event. Give him another event. He did X Lives of Wolverine last year. X Lives / X Deaths. One of the probably my favorite event of the whole year. So, all right, moving on. Not much from Dynamite this week. Just their basic, Red Sonja, Gargoyles. But like we did mention last night on the show, they are killing it with the Disney licenses. Darkwing Duck was great. Gargoyles is fun. So, Purgatory, Vampirella, some toys. And then we get into everything else. And we're sorry, y'all. Our guy ain't here. Our small press guy just isn't here. We do have Black Tape by Dan Panasian over at AWA. I think this is going to be a good pickup this week. But yeah, really beyond that, I know nothing that's going on in the small press this week.
It's me.
Yeah, exactly. All right, here's one. Tales from Nottingham. Nottingham is the little book that could from, 2 years ago now, where it's a dark retelling of Robin Hood and all of those characters. David Hazan is revisiting that with some little small 4 or 5 page stories where we're seeing where Maid Marian had her tragedy, where the sheriff of Nottingham, hit rock bottom. So, yeah, this was an Eisner Award nominated book, a GLAAD nominated book. Yeah, it's good. We're going to see some fun stuff in this book. If you're a fan of the Nottingham universe, this is definitely a pickup. If you picked up a copy of Nottingham #1, the first run, good on you. That book goes for a ton of money on the spec market right now. But again, like we said at the top of the show, there's some good meat on the bone this week, but it's kind of a small bone,
Yeah, I mean, it's like there's nothing here that's going to like knock your socks off, but it's a lot of like old standbys, things that, good old reliables. Like Miles Morales is going to be good, I'm sure. I'm looking forward to the next Avengers issue. There's a couple of things I'm interested to see if they can pick up, like, Scarlet Witch #2 and everything.
Nice.
I am so tempted to get that Harley Quinn cover with like the
just for the
Superman
cover.
romance.
For the hot cover, dude. Just for the hot cover.
That's a little expensive, maybe just to get for the cover, but still. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely some gems among there. There's lots of cool Image books coming out. Nothing that's like, a big premiere, I think, from them or anything. But hey, it got up on 8 billion genies and all that.
Yeah, right. Andy chiming in that it's a light week. It definitely is, but
they tend to skew towards the lighter side on the first week of the month, and this is going to be February 1st. Weird. So
yeah. But with that said, there is also a lot of potential. There's Almighty #1 over at Image, Blood Tree #1 over at Image. IDW has Breath of Shadows #1. So on the smaller press, there is some stuff that could definitely lead into some of the best books of the year. Batman Legends of Gotham #1. Still, I'm not sure what to think about that. Lazarus Planet tie-in. But really, there's no Marvel books that I am looking forward to except for my standards. X-Force. Really.
Yeah, the old reliables, and I'm looking forward to that 1 Minute War thing from DC.
Oh yes, for sure. Awesome, man! Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Really appreciate it. We would love it if you check out our boys, Eli and Leroy, over at the Comic Book Bullies. They did a show last night. It was very fun, very good. They got a little bit off the rails, but don't they always? If you want to see more from them and us, go to outrightgeekery.com. Links up there to everything we've got going on. The pages, the groups now, Andy, the Outright Geekery group over on Facebook. All of our social media, all of our video channels, Patreon, merch site, everything that you'd ever want. Sans, the douchebaggery. Check out the outrightgeekery.com website. Come back. We're going to do a show next week. We're not doing anything Super Bowl Sunday. Taylor's going to a party. He's decided to be social one Sunday out of the year. I'm going to sit here and get drunk and watch my Eagles stomp the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'm actually rooting for the Chiefs, so we're kind of against each other. My uncle lives in Kansas City, so
then whatever.
That's as much of a connection as I have to either of the teams right now.
I say that. I don't give a fuck. I grew up in Allentown, Pennsylvania. My grandfather was a big Eagles fan. So when we go over there and visit him on Sundays, he would just have the game on and be rooting for it. So it was kind of like handed down,
Yeah, but I mean, that is honestly, a legit reason to root for him. But
fuck, yeah.
I will say, as a collective, Eagles fans are terrible people.
Oh yeah, we're terrible. We're terrible.
And I happen to know that you are a terrible person, but I'll give your granddad a benefit of the doubt. Yeah,
first-hand evidence that Eagles fans are just.
I mean,
shit.
you kind of verify my prejudices here, Gomer.
Exactly. Awesome. So yeah, definitely check out the Bullies. Check us out. Come back on Monday. Again, thanks a lot, everybody, for hanging out. But most of all, thanks for this guy, for hanging out with this guy.
Hell yeah.
We are going to do it again next time.
Same geek time, same geek channel. It just occurred to me I wasn't here for it. Did you have to do your own shit talk show at the beginning?
No, I would have just stopped.